Place, place Japan. That is the best way I can summarize Forza Horizon 6 IGN's 9 minutes of exclusive gameplay. They picked the most bland roads, the most bland car. Okay, not a bland car, but it's like what they could have picked some kind of iconic Japanese car, but no, they picked like what the Celine 7, which I think is an American car. I'm not sure. But they could have had like a Honda NSX or I don't know, just anything. Anything but not that. And they pick like these big open highways with no traffic, not a living soul existing in the entire world but us because of how poor of a driver the IGN guy is, whoever drove it is. My god, I've not seen someone slow down, let go of the accelerator like half a mile before a turn. And also the speedometer is in miles per hour, which, I love the attention to detail because in Japan we use miles per hour. But okay, jokes aside, why couldn't they pick more iconic locations? Most of the time I was watching the gameplay, I was just thinking, what about this is like Japan? It just looks like a bland highway, a bland tunnel, a bland road, and it's all so sterile. It doesn't feel lived in. It feels like it's all made out of like plastic or like synthetic. Why couldn't they just at least have like rain, some snow, something to like define the environment around them? I know the game has more. I know the game probably is like highly detailed and probably has really complex weather systems and has like really good environment detail and stuff like that. But they showed it off in the most bland, boring, plain bread kind of way.
Are you eating properly? This morning I had some soup. What kind of soup? I dice bread, fry it in oil, then boil it in water.
The only thing that was like, I guess you could say Japani, right, was when they first start getting into the city. They tease the city, right? They just drive on the outskirts of it. The highway section, that actually looked pretty cool. Like a drag race through that in the middle of the night, going by the streetlights. That would be cool as heck. When that bridge, that winding bridge above the lake or the sea or whatever it was, that was pretty cool. The mountain range, pretty cool. There was like a small township kind of place later on in the run that was pretty cool. But again, it's all so small and compact, and when you're going like 200 miles per hour past all this, no one's gonna see it. That's why you need a slower car, not a supercar flying by these things. The sense of speed is quite poor. This is something that I would say has been a problem for a while now. Even Forza Horizon 5 had this. Like you're going at times 200 miles per hour. It does not feel like you're going 200 miles per hour. It just feels kind of flat. The environments look pretty good, and as at the time I'm recording this, they did release another trailer with like a Land Rover, and that trailer is like it's miles ahead of what they showed in IGN. And what I don't get is why didn't they use the rain, that environment and stuff? Like why didn't they show up more of the environment, more of the city, maybe a slower drive so that people can really take in the world, the main selling point of this game. But no, they just like fly by all the interesting bits, showcase a bland highway, a wide open road, no traffic. Oh, there are some what is it called? Key cars? K cars? K cars. The entire purpose of a K car, why they're popular, is because of their compact size. Now, why is that important? Because, Japan has like compact cities and stuff like that. But no, you put a K car in like what looks like the equivalent of like an American highway. It looks ridiculous. Like, why is it there? At this point, you might as well import in the big ass SUVs that they use in America, because you have the roads for it. Why wasn't there any music? There was no music. I mean, surely they could have found some kind of copyright-free music that anyone could have used, right? But there was no music. It was just mute. And every time they discovered a new location, they would play like, I guess, traditional Japanese music. Which, look, I understand wanting to use Japan's culture or whatever, but it feels so forced. And when you hear that music, and everything else around you just looks like a bland highway, it just trips me out of the experience. It feels like, someone is telling me, hey, remember, you're in Japan, even though you can't really tell. It just looks like any other of the other European countries that we've put in our game so far. But this is Japan, so be excited. It's like, dude, come on. Look, I'm sure the game's great. I feel like they definitely probably skip past all the good parts. But my god, I feel like the first piece of gameplay that is going to be like reviewed by everyone, this was like terrible. Like, why would you pick this you could have picked so many different locations. You could have picked like so many different weather conditions, so many different cars, drove a bit slower to the middle of the city, have a bit more traffic, have a bit more people, show some, I don't know, damage, some aging. Like not every building has to look so pristine. That's one of the things I hated about like Forza 5, except like I guess like the Bond finds. Every other buildings look so pristine. There was no like wear and tear. It never looked like someone lived there, except for the Bond finds. The Bond finds, they're like, oh, it's a rundown old Bond. We have to make it look bad. Anyways, that's it for me. So I am still excited for the thing, but I'm gonna be playing it on PlayStation, so it's gonna be like a long while before I get to it. But I'm still excited. Hopefully, they can fix or at least tune some of these things, and hopefully we have a good game for the next, I don't know how many of years that this is gonna last.